All right. Welcome back to another Table Talk edition here. Today, we are going to be talking about when children and parents, especially aging parents, live long distance. All right. And that can present many, many problems. That can present many issues, both on emotional issues, even financial issues. But we're going to talk about how the distance removes visibility in everyday reality. All right. So it's very obvious that if you live close to your parents or your grandparents, that you can go and see them periodically throughout a week, a couple days a week or a couple times a day, and you will be able to see any changes that are going on, be able to be a little proactive with them. But when you live long distance, you don't see those daily changes. You basically just kind of get like a snapshot of what is going on. Obviously, being long distance, depending on how tech savvy your parents might be, um, you might be able to do video calls to where you might be able to physically see them and maybe see that something is off. But most of the time, they're most generally phone calls, and phone calls can cover up a whole lot. Phone calls can cover up, uh, how they look, how are they keeping themselves. They can just easily talk about, how good everything is and just cover up so much. Um, Also, what it does is you can't see the home. Phone calls, how's the home looking? Great. It's this, it's that. And having a rental property myself in another state, again, it's the same scenario of, is it really being taken care of? You hear one thing and you hear another. It's very, I don't want to call it frustrating, but worrisome. Let's put it that way. Worrisome about what is really happening, right? Um, are the right decisions being made? Are we looking at this the right way? Should we be doing more? Should we be doing less? Should we worry more? Should we worry less? All right. Another thing that you miss out on is their routines. Um, if you're not living there and you're not close, they could be telling you, yeah, they're going here and they're doing this and they're doing that when they're really not. Um, the small issues that go undeferred, that go unnoticed. The maintenance of a home. You know, are they keeping up on it, or is it just slowly disintegrating around them? What else is there? The mobility issues. Are they able to navigate around the house? Again, not being there, just talking to them on the phone. How's everything going? It's going great. No problems, no issues. Meanwhile, they're not making it upstairs to bed. They're not able to wash laundry because it's in the basement. Um, you know, are they really taking care of themselves the way they should be? And not saying that they are or they're not, but they will cover. Um, Sometimes they will lie because they don't want people worrying about them, and they don't want to become a burden. And that's how a lot of the seniors do feel sometimes, is that they're going to become a burden. That this is going to happen, that's going to happen. You're going to be mad at me. You're going to be this. You're going to be that. All right. Changes in habits and isolation. These are kind of what I just said earlier. Is you call them and ask them, "Are you doing this? Are you doing that?" Yes, 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 and they're not. And without being able to see that daily, just pop in once in a while or see them every day, that long distance can become very crucial. And within that long distancing, emotional stress is often higher for the distant children. Um, are we doing enough? As I said, are we doing enough? Are we doing something correctly? Are we really going to trust them? All right. And not that you shouldn't trust them, but again, like I said, they will try to put off any truth, because if they do find out, or if they are found out to having any slight of issues of taking care of the home, missing appointments, doing this, doing that, that their whole life is going to change for the worst, because now they can't be trusted alone. They're going to have to go and live in an assisted living community. They're going to have to go to maybe independent living, or they may have to move in with a family member, and they don't want to be a burden, and this and that. So, when it comes to the emotional end of it, it's tough on both people. It's tough on the children, and it's tough on the parents. All right. And I think that this is the biggest thing, and I've always come back to this, is preparation is key. Okay. There's a lot of seniors out there that can live on their own. Don't get me wrong. All right. They have all of their cognitive skills. They're able to drive. They're quick as whips. They're smarter than the average 18-year-old. Like, I get it. But things happen. All right. And I feel that when we reach a certain point, there has to be proactiveness over reactiveness. And the only way we can get to that is preparing a plan. And get your parents, your grandparents on board with that plan, and say, hey, look, we understand. We want you to have your freedom. We want you to enjoy what you have going on right now. But we also need to know that you're safe. We also need to know that we have a peace of mind knowing that if this happens, we're going to be able to do this. If that happens, this is what's going to happen. And I think if you can get everybody on board with that, that distance relationship with preparation can eliminate a lot of the stress, a lot of the worry. You will have a plan in place to have a neighbor or family friend, if there's no family around, on an emergency contact type of basis, saying like, hey, look, we're a little concerned. Can you just go and check? Or just have them check in with you, just say, hey, so mom and dad, they were out walking today, or, it's been really cold, so they've been kind of cooped up in the house, or it's been really hot, anything like that, just so you can kind of get an idea of, okay, things are what they normally are. But when you start to see those subtle changes, that's when it's time to kind of, step in and ask, what's going on? How can we help? And being a long distance, I think it's very, very tough on most families, but there are ways around it, and preparation is the way to do it. Well, hope you got something out of this video, and we look forward to seeing you on the next week's end.